Alrighty, everybody. Looks like the ad break is over, so we're going to get into Elden Ring here in just a second. Unfortunately, I just ruined all of my careful preparation by accidentally inhaling a bit of water into my windpipe, so we might have a moment of tenuous coughing here as I try to remember how to breathe like a human being. Golly. Okay. Well, let's hope I don't die. We'll continue on, nevertheless. Do we have a game? We have a game. Okay, wonderful. Oops, there we go. Well, it's definitely, well, you know. Look, it would certainly take care of my very long to-do list at this point. Oh, shit. Well, my adventurous little aardvarks, how has your time been? Oh. It's been 5 days since last I streamed. We're gonna hopefully have something like a normal week this week. A Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Possibly even an off-cycle Thursday stream, depending on how things go. But I might be off to a little hike on Thursday, so quite likely I won't be able to stream that day. Although, you know, in retrospect, I could probably stream in the morning on Thursday. That could be good. Oh shit. I forgot to increment the counter. That's 1 death so far. Okay. Shit. You see, sometimes I take the chance when I'm running up to her and she starts that attack after I've already committed, and then I'm properly fucked. There we go. Yeah, well, there's a not so spooky, properly fucked. Yeah, unfortunately, Malenia has quite an eye for weakness, and there are attacks you can't attack through that she can start after you've already committed. Oh shit. Whoop. How you doing, Spook? Oh, for God's sake. Maybe I should have practiced at some point in the last 5 days so this shit didn't keep happening. But yeah, there's a nice big park in my place of residence, and it's so large you can easily spend an entire day hiking through it and not see everything. So we'll be probably spending Thursday, now that the weather has improved, hiking through it for a couple hours with a friend of mine. So that'll be exciting, I think. Okay, now we have a break. Ooh. Yeah, I'm doing not too bad, man. My really awful work schedule over the last couple of days is over, so I can take a breather. As I was telling Star earlier, there's never, like, really true downtime in this business. It's just my workload has kind of gone from, like, 120 out of 10 to... shit. To, like, 75 out of 100. Wait, what am I saying? 100. It's gone from, like, 120% to, like, 75% of maximum. Moving to DC next year, and I'm excited for all the parks to walk through because I love urban hunting. Yeah. Or urban... Oh my god, I can't read or think today. Urban hiking. Mm-hmm. It's hard to describe this park without giving too much away about where I live, but I would say it's not like your standard sort of municipal park, but big. It's more like a a park like you might travel to, but in a city. So I'll have to leave it at that. No, it's Central Park. I, I, I mean, I've never been to New York City. I understand Central Park is quite the feature and quite big, but I would imagine you could probably handle it in a day. Mind you, I don't actually know what is in Central Park that you would go see. Specifically, well, okay, that sounds sarcastic. I just mean I don't know all of the fun things in Central Park. I know there's a statue of an angel or something in a fountain, and some people like perform Shakespeare plays there in the summer, but I don't really know more than that. Oh, it's full of two things: Central and Park. Well, I understand it's got quite a lot of water. Um, but I mostly know that memetically through. I don't know. I feel like I've received this idea from somewhere that a common thing you can do on dates in Central Park is to get on like a little two-person paddle boat kind of thing, or pedal boat, I'm sorry, and that they look like swans, and you do. Oh God, I've completely lost my timing since I played this last. I don't know about you. I can't imagine that being oh. Oh, the technical issues come back again. Elden Ring just crashed. Okay, here we go. This was the technical issues I was thinking about earlier, because it crashed while I was getting set up, too. Thankfully, it didn't bring OBS down. Doesn't do that a lot, but boy, pain in the ass when it happens. Let's see here. Okay, come on, game. No, no, what's the matter? I have a backup, I guess, but a little embarrassing. No, it's just I like getting on a boat shaped like a swan with someone and then pedaling around a pond sounds cute, but that I don't know. It's it like seems like quite a lot of physical activity, but also not um, all that fun, and doesn't really give you much by way of getting to know the other person. So I think that one's going to be a no for me as far as dates go. Well, welcome back to the game, my boisterous little bumblebees. Hopefully this is the only crash we get tonight. Oh. Well, we'll see. So yeah, busy day. I'm probably going to be going to see Sinners tomorrow night. And then I think it's this Friday that the new Final Destination movie comes out. Well, I just don't like the Dave Matthews Band, so I feel like it might might not land all that well for me. Oop. Oh my God, what? Okay. This is not going great. Really should have maybe booted up the game yesterday and done maybe half an hour of practice to remind myself of how to dodge. Yeah, the next 2 weeks are going to be, sorry, the 2 weeks that begin next week are going to be vital, because summer term starts up next week, and so I will be teaching. Oh, what the fuck? I could have sworn I hit the dodge button on that. Yes, not as a TA, but as a professor. So I don't really know what that is going to look like time-wise. It's just the first week, so, you know, it needs in terms of prep and out of office time are going to be pretty minimal. Although it will be a time of many, many tremendously annoying bureaucratic matters. So we will see about that. However, I'm very interested to meet the students. Looks like I have one person on there who I have known from a class some years ago, so that'll be exciting. It is also totally full, which is unusual for a class of this year level. Oh, shit. And, all of the advice I got for planning it was basically predicated on the idea that, you know, you don't... Fourth year classes in the summer are usually pretty easy because they're usually very poorly attended. You know, it's usually just the students who have one class left to wrap up their degree and then they want to go. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I don't have more really at this point. Oh, this pull's not going too bad. Rio's law in effect right there. Fucking god damn it. Oh, yeah, thank you. But yeah, I truly have no idea what it's going to do to my spare time. Like, I don't know if it's going to end up being less work than TAing, because I have had, at this point, basically 2 solid years of the most incredibly time-consuming TA assignments that I could even imagine. You know, like, I was telling the department head recently that, you know, TA contracts are supposed to nominate not more than 15 hours a week of work, right? That's what they're stipulated for. But I don't think I've ever TA'd a class where the workload was actually reflective of that. Truly, you know, on average, even TAing a 2 discussion group course is like 20 plus hours minimum a week. And that's assuming everything else is perfect. Like, I was regularly logging over 35 hours a week for this job, which is, to keep in mind, like, what you're supposed to do is you do this job on top of your studies, which are supposed to be a full-time job, and your other academic commitments. So when TA work balloons out to like that much time, it really tends to exert a deleterious effect on the rest of your life. So I am not worried per se about being able to handle the teaching. I, in fact, feel extremely confident about that. what I am worried about is whether I will have a life outside of it. But we'll see. I mean, it is possible that I might only stream 2 days a week going forward, or at least while I'm teaching. Damn, why do I feel so sluggish? And probably if I did 2 days a week, those 2 days would be like Thursday, Friday, I think. I don't know, I feel like having them right next to one another is bad. I guess Tuesday, Friday wouldn't be too bad. I could hypothetically keep doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday throughout the summer term. I just think that is probably not a great combination of days, given what my teaching schedule will be. But, we'll see. I know I've done a lot of thinking out loud about this on stream over the last month, but, you know, mostly it's just because there's no way really to know until you try. Oh, God. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna go see Sinners tomorrow, I think. And, oh shit. Oh. Ah, almost got it. Damn. Oh, and that was death number 300-ish. Yeah, this week at least will be a little more sedate. The only thing I really have to get done this week is some very minor paperwork related to the course and get the introductory slides put together. First week will mostly just be talking about Middle English, because the first... oh god. I have to go to lunch, so I'll be back later, but I have a question. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. Is this question about spiders? Is it about pickle geese? Or are you going to make me wait until you come back from lunch for the question? And that would be a diabolical trick, wouldn't it? Actually, didn't I do that to you once? Ask you if I can ask a question and then just not answer it? Or then just not ask? Alright, come out of your corner. Ah, there we are. I was wondering if you could get your students to... Okay, what... I've heard this, I've heard of this, but I only know it sort of generically as an example of Italian brain rot. But, like, what is the deal with it? What is it supposed to be? I don't understand. Bombardillo crocodillo. It's just pure brain rot that turned into a meme machine. Okay, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't mean, like... Is it gibberish? Like, total gibberish? Alas, I don't think I will be able to get them to write on that. I wish I could be quite so freeform, but alas, I am constrained to educate them on matters of medieval literature and its subsequent transformations in history. You know what I am excited about, though? We're going to be starting Paranoia Agent in the Discord here on Sunday. That's a TV show I love. So, that'll be fun. And I would really like to spend a little bit more time watching movies in the Discord. Unfortunately, I ended up in a situation where I said I would start doing it, and we managed to get like 2 weeks in where I was able to do sort of random, like, impromptu movie nights. And then, unfortunately, life took one of its strange and delightful turns, and that plan didn't work. Oh shit. I'm afraid, Penguin, it would be difficult for me to ask them to write about this when I myself don't know about it. I mean, we will be talking about contemporary movies right at the very, very end of class. So there is some possibility they might be able to talk about memes. But I don't really know. Unless, like... Shit. Do people draw this thing? Like, you said it's a character. Like, if I Google this, will I see art of the character? I just don't know that I can make this work, Penguin. I'm sorry. AI. Okay. Alright. Have a good lunch. Why are you asking me to get a butt lift on the way out? Ah, gotcha. Whoop. Woo, there we go. It's bigger for the spiders. Oh yes, that reminds me. I posed a question. Or a cursed thought experiment in one of Penguin's streams a little while ago. I can't remember how we got onto this topic, but it involved me hypothesizing an alternate reality where we don't have we don't have toilet paper, we just have like a bucket of spiders that you keep beside the toilet. And that led to some great great moments, I think. I won't rehearse them all here since, you know, that's Penguin's business, but I enjoyed thinking about that to the extent that I was able to express it in words, and then that was about the end of it. Of course, that wasn't the end of it. That was just the end of me thinking about it. Aw, damn it. Am I gonna be fucking relearning point blank waterfowl dance here? I think I am. No, you don't like that hypothetical reality, Star? Does that not does that not seem like a fun thing for you? Okay, so here's my follow-up question. Okay. We're in this hypothetical reality where there's no toilet paper, just buckets of spiders. Is it better if the spiders are warm or cold? Like, what would you want here if you have to use, like, spluter roll instead of toilet paper? I think cold for me, because that implies the spiders are not alive. Whereas I would expect that warm spiders might be moving. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a thought experiment. I'm not, you know, proposing shit. We actually do this. Damn it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Elden Ring, no. Don't do this. Oh, it didn't crash, I think. Did it just freeze? Oh, okay. Definitely not warm. Okay. Well, I'm glad we're of one mind about this, Star. Yeah. Good times. Oh, we're gonna have to congratulate Noir next time he's in here. It sounds like his date on Saturday went well. If the Discord is to be believed. Ooh. And oh. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Oh, that was a mistake. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry. I really didn't think I had completely lost the muscle memory for dodging this at point blank range. I was doing that, I want to say, about a third of the time last week, and now it's just completely escaped me. Ugh. Lord. Yeah, I'm not, I'm not, oh, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I am not really a hiking type person. There's a good walking route near my apartment, and I try to walk that about once a day. That's usually like a 45-minute trip. I listen to a podcast while I do it. But it's all flat and it's all cement. So I feel like I'm a little unprepared to go for a multi-hour long hike, but fortune favors the bold, as they say. There we go. Oh boy. Boy. I have to admit, I don't really have a set plan for Friday this week. We have multiple games in progress, which is we haven't had for a little while. There's Killer 7, which I would like to get back to, and there's Hatoful Boyfriend, which I would also like to get back to. And I'm also getting behind on my list of games I would like to play. The list of things that I consider very high priority because they are well within my wheelhouse is getting kind of long also. Um, and most prominent among those are a game called No Skin, and then another game called Look Outside, which oh god, I know friend of the show Nyx Nightshade has been playing, and also friend of the show Abzu VT has been playing. So I have unfortunately, my understanding is these games both feature puzzles, which means I have not been watching those streams very carefully because I don't personally care all that much about getting spoiled for story stuff. That doesn't matter to me at all. But I really do like to figure out the puzzles myself. So I don't like to get spoiled on that. This is a recurring problem for me and Abzu because we have like 99% overlap in taste in games. So I always have to be cautious about which of her streams I watch for that reason. Ooh. I will also say I'm kind of surprised to find that a lot of people are liking Necrophysis. I've seen it be streamed a lot over the last week, and reviews seem to be positive, which I don't understand because the game kind of, I won't say it's bad, but it is kind of shallow, and I'm kind of shocked that people are liking the story. Uh, I will go. Oh wow, that was a quick second waterfowl. Go so far as to say that I think it looks incredible, and I hope the people who made it get to make more games. But I wasn't hugely impressed by it. So this unfortunately means we are kind of batting a perfect record right now for me not really liking the indie games that I play on Fridays. Um, Lamentum struck out. Decarnation struck out. Centum struck out. It's not going great so far. It's kind of why I want to go back to Killer 7, because I know that's a good game and I like it. But one of the things I like about Fridays is playing games I haven't played before. Actually, you know what? I did Bay Across redeemed Hydrate. Okay, I will hydrate momentarily. Ah, I didn't perfect the dodge. Okay, I'm hydrating. It was an interesting smoothie that was shared in your Discord, Orphea. I'm thinking about it because I'm looking over at my drink, which is this incredibly deep red liter container of water. Or I guess not liter. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what a liter is. It's a 32-ounce restaurant food container that I've filled with warm water and that I flavored with a raspberry Crystal Light. Because I can actually taste those. And I don't know, I'm just put in mind of that thing that was shared in your Discord. By the way, that that was pretty gross. That was pretty gross. But and I feel like I've seen, oh shit, that's bad. I feel like I've seen worse. I don't know that I could like describe immediately worse things that I've seen. I should have told you earlier what I learned at the doctor. Well, I mean, feel free to share with the class if you want, but you'll DM. Okay. Okay, it's one of those. Gotcha. Noted. Yeah, I have to admit, I don't really know what to expect out of fourth year English students in a summer course because, you know, all of my teaching experience up to this point has been first and second years. Shit. I haven't taught second years in a fairly long time. So long, in fact, I would say that my frame of reference is a little distorted because of how significantly students have changed since COVID. So I don't really have a strong sense of what the students are going to expect or going to want. However, from what I've heard, the summer term tends to be a lot more relaxed, a lot more easygoing, so we will see. Although I was also told that for that same reason, I should expect that the students will potentially slack off a lot more and will probably miss a lot more class because they'll be out partying and whatnot. Which I don't think will be a huge problem for me. Oh, bad trade, given when my teaching days are. How have students changed from COVID? Well. do you want to be here all night on that one? Okay. Okay, oh gosh. So, the first wave of changes in COVID have to do with how high schools responded. Because, you know, again, I mostly teach first years, so students who have had their, you know, expectations set about what they need to do by high school. So when COVID hit, a lot of high school teachers followed the, at that time, conventional advice to not like focus too much on like with the writing assignments, not focus too much on really in-depth, detailed shit. Sorry, I couldn't think about that and dodge the attack at the same time. Like really fine-grained evaluation. The sense that I got is that people were being advised to just get the students to write anything and have it be written for completion. Because the theory went that students were so stressed out that they would not be able to handle the pressure of like major papers that were coming up. So it was better to, instead of having, say, one midterm paper worth 40% of their mark, to instead have them do like a shitload of reflections that are each worth like 1% and it's just graded on completion or something. Or whatever the version of that is for high school. Yeah. So, in short, assignments writing got shorter, and the scrutiny that teachers were applying to the writing was much reduced. Oh, sorry, gotta focus on this. So what this resulted in is first-year students who were comfortable basically just blathering on and not really saying anything in their assignments. Their prose was very, very wordy because they had spent, anywhere from like 5 months to 2 years under an instructional model where it was more important that they just write anything than that the writing be good. So they had very idiosyncratic, strange ideas. Oh, that would be, yeah, if you're going to be watching focusedly, that would be nice. Thank you, Orfeo. Oh, God. Oh, that's, hey, don't worry. I can do it. And also, I just want to say something here, because I forgot to do this last time. Big ups in the chat for Star Miria, who handled the death counter on the last stream for, I want to say, two out of the 3 hours. About 100 deaths. Greatly appreciated. No, it's okay. I don't want you to... Unfortunately, the death counter kind of requires that you be watching tightly, and I don't want to make anybody do that, What was I... Well, okay. I mean, I won't say no. That's very kind of you. Takes one thing off of my back. Oh, fucking goddamn. Okay. It was a blast until I got lost. Oh, yes, we did the lore dump last week. Oh, fuck, that was right. I promised somebody, I can't remember if it was you or if it was Noir or Rio, that I would look into something in the lore, and I completely forgot. Oh. What? Oh, sorry. Weird artifact on my end here. That something is up with the tech. I think I'm... Anyway. Okay, so early students... Okay, sorry. So, because of the shift to just writing for completion, just like write a paragraph, teacher's not going to look at it all that carefully and not going to give you a lot of feedback, because crucially for this, thank you, Orpheus. If your instructional model is that students are constantly doing tiny little assignments, it is physically impossible to be constantly giving them thorough feedback, because the thorough feedback requires a lot of time on your part. It's why it works when the model is that students only have, 3 to 5 major assignments in a term, and, realistically more like 3 to 4. So they were doing a lot of writing. They were not accustomed to getting critiques of their writing. They weren't getting um, so they, a lot of them were shocked to like get assignments back and be asked to proofread it or edit it because they hadn't been forced to do that by high school, which is, one of the things that you're supposed to do in, high school curriculum. But what I will say is that for at least, I want to say, like 2020 through to mid 2021, basically what I think of as like online school only time, the students were still, oh shit. No, that was fucked. The students were still basically doing the same kinds of assignments that they were doing before. So they would get a poem and they would have to analyze it. Except the the teacher wasn't really paying all that much attention to what they were saying. Or they would have to read a novel and write about it, etc., etc. Okay. Sorry, there's a knock at my door. This is a little unusual for this time of night. I will be right back, folks. Sorry. All right, I'm back. No, it was nothing weird. It was just the building manager was handing out notices about construction coming up this week. So, little odd to be doing it at 20 to 8 in the evening, but I guess if you're a building manager here, you probably have a day job anyway, so you gotta get this shit done in the evening. Okay, back to the game. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so around, I want to say, sometime in 2021, as I really started feeling this in the middle of 2022, a lot of teachers shifted towards not just like shortening the kinds of writing that students were being asked to do, but also started really, really cutting down on the amount of reading they were being asked to do. And also the kinds of things that they were being asked to read. So one of the things that has really shocked me, when I get a first year class now, I like to give them a little poll near the start of term, asking them basically like what kinds of things they were asked to read in high school and how they were asked to write about them. And based on what I'm hearing, I was the fraction of students who had never been asked to read nonfiction, who had never been asked to read something that wasn't nonfiction, started growing dramatically in late 2021. And that has only increased more and more and more and more. And even worse than that is that many of the students are telling me that in high school, they were never asked to analyze. They were never asked to interpret. The most that I would get was they were asked to like respond personally, which is like, did I like it? you know, did it remind me of something from my life? Did I get a lesson out of it? But the sort of analytical functions of, say, identifying themes or trying to describe the perspective on a theme, the students were no longer... Oh, fuck. Fuck. No longer getting the basics of that stuff, which... Yeah. Yeah. And that puts me as a TA for a first year class in a really awkward, difficult spot, because first year classes effectively are getting way, way, way harder for students because high school is preparing them way, way, way less for the kinds of engagement that they're expected to learn how to do in a first year classroom. Now, granted, this is not universal. Some students are coming in approximately as prepared as they ever have been, but it seems like increasingly there's and this is the bit that I don't understand, a large amount of pressure on public school, high school education to massively lower expectations in the English classroom. And it has really had a disastrous effect. So it has produced some extremely funny moments, though. I had to... I was TAing a class in the spring of 2024, and one of the texts that they had to read for that class was an ancient Greek play. Oh, goodness me. Oh, sorry. Called Agamemnon. And as I normally do for literally the very first day, just literally the first day we actually had to talk about the play, I had them read just sort of the first 100 lines or so of it, and I asked them to give me their response or patterns that they noticed and what they thought about it. And a thing that fucking shocked me was that there was a solid number of students who reported to me that they really didn't like that the author uses metaphors in this play. They objected to figurative language as such. And I find that so fucking funny. What I should have done at that point was pull out Plato and start talking about Plato's critique of the poets. But it is kind of funny how certain ideas come back in vogue when you have I don't know, a population with an inadequate education. So all of this is to say is that I've been kind of trying to navigate a situation where my students are struggling a little bit more every year for reasons that are not their fault. And it demands more and more and more of me every year because we are not compromising on what we expect them to be able to do in a first year English class. But the students are getting, because they're starting so much further back from the line than they used to, they are getting so irritated that English, which is basically a gimme course in high school now. From the sounds of things, you don't have to read anything, you barely have to write, and the teachers don't scrutinize anything you say so long as you put enough words together. They get to first year English now, and it's not easy, and that becomes our fault. Granted, that has always been a thing, so it's not that's an innovation here, but I do feel like the the expectations have been set in such a way that, you know, having any kind of, I don't know, expectations of them feels like you're being unfair to them. And I get it. Like, I can't, you know, truly be mad at them because this is what they have been taught English is like through the secondary school system. Do the fucking dance so that I can dodge it. God damn. Can you do the dance now? Nope. Can you do the dance now? Yeah, there we go. Aw, damn it. Okay. How would I change the education system? Oh. Do you mean just the high school system? Or, like, the whole thing? Yeah, high school specifically. I mean, okay. If we're being practical here, I would say as an immediate step that someone could do tomorrow, reverting all high school instruction just to how things were done in like 2019 would be a huge improvement over right now. But the problem is essentially that students are suffering from really low expectations. They're not suffering necessarily from low standards. It's that the high school system expects them to be fools and treats them as such. And because of that, they don't really learn anything. So I think that it is important to not just ask them to write as busy work. It is important to get them to use writing as a way to think about things, which is really how you should be handling the task of interpretation. And also, you know, I realize I'm risking becoming a bit of an old man yelling at clouds with this, but the usually first year university literature classes don't include instruction in grammar because that's too basic. But increasingly we have to because they're not being taught that in high school, which is where you're supposed to be taught it. And even if students haven't mastered it, for example, it is crucial that they have the baseline vocabulary, because if I show someone, for example, that their writing has a tendency to slip into, say, run-on sentences, or they have incomplete sentences, or whatnot, I can tell them, you know, you have to connect the two clauses in this way. You have a subordinate and a main clause here, so, or you need to have both a subordinate and a main clause in this sentence. Fuck. Well, now they don't understand any of that, right? If we're lucky, they've been taught enough vocabulary of grammar that they know what verbs and adverbs are. Hey, welcome in, Doc, and welcome in, Shot Your Pants. How are you both doing tonight? Orphea has got me ranting about the kids these days. Ah, not gonna get me this time. Oh, shit. Just came in second in Crab Champions. First time playing. Yeah, I saw that Night Dive Studios was playing Crab Champions, right? Oh, Doc is EP. Well, hope you have a good sleep, Doc. Don't stay up too late. It's important to get a full night's sleep. But if I were to more comprehensively reform high school level English education, I would firstly I would oh Shot, you've been hit with a VIP punishment. Yeah, I would require that students be asked to interpret things basically from the outset. I would ban teachers from teaching students the 5-paragraph essay. And in fact, I would ban all forms of boilerplate writing instruction, because that also produces some pretty serious problems in student writing. I would require that the writing pedagogy be adapted to focus on how to use writing as a way to solve interpretive problems that are put to you by particular texts. And that would require, of course, teaching students how to recognize and explain what an interpretive problem is. But this would more fully prepare them for first year English, and honestly would just prepare them for, you know, how to actually talk about books. Because the other thing that I've noticed is that even the students who come into like first year English with an interest in books, like they might be a reader, or they might, say that, hey, I'm thinking about being an English major. Many of them talk about books in ways that are not, suggestive of a fully developed critical faculty. Now, granted, first year class, they're supposed to learn how to do that here, so I'm not expecting them to come to class already knowing what to do. But a great many students, if you ask them, like, what is a book about, or what are its themes, they respond to you just with summary, or purely descriptive level detail. They can't extrapolate from it to make meaning of their own, which is kind of frightening. I gotta go refill my drink. I won't count the deaths for a minute or two. Well, thank you for your service, Orphea. Much appreciated. Not So Spooky has been VIP'd. Okay. Unable to add VIP. Oh no, are we maxed out on VIP, or did I just spell the name wrong? Oh, there we go. I must have just spelled the name wrong. There we go. Oh no, we got it, Shot. We got it. Oh god. But, oh, you know what we don't got is we don't got time for another poll before we have to hit ad break. So why don't I pop us over here? We're gonna have a 3-minute ad break, folks, during which time I would encourage you to go get some food if you haven't done so already. Go grab some water, hydrate yourself, or you can do what I'm gonna do, which is get up, walk around, and stretch your legs. Oh, we got an un-VIP. I think I can do that before the ad. Spooky trying to protect himself from VIP punishments. Uh-oh. Re-ad. Okay. I'll have to let this one play out here, because we got ads, and I can't stop it any really much longer. Okay, here we go, folks. See you soon. Alrighty, welcome back from ads, my clamorous little cretins. We shall get into the game here shortly. Oh, looks like the VIP fight is mostly over, except for Star jumping in to un-VIP themselves. Dodging a punishment in so doing. Okay, let's get back to the game. And there we are. However, you know, as a final sort of coda to everything I've just said about the high school education system and its issues here, I will say that these are, you know, in some ways, English instruction has its own specific issues, right? And English suffers from, you know, I don't know particularly, but it suffers. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. 1 second. Didn't actually sneeze, just felt like I was going to. You know, I won't say that English suffers most of all from this, but it does have its own unique form of suffering. And that is, of course, the effects of the massive rise in anti-intellectual sentiment in, broadly speaking, Western society, especially over the last 10 years. Meowsly the meowing. Would you say that kids these days are losing their reading ability? Losing would be, I think, not the accurate way to put it. I think what they're losing, if anything, is the opportunity to develop it that high school is supposed to give them, right? So it's not like they're losing it, it's that they're never being trained to have it. Now, you know, what I will say is that at some level, these are deep problems in the education system itself. And there's really no fixing it in a way that focuses on only one subject. Like, I hear from a friend of mine who's doing a PhD in math that like the exact same issues basically are cropping up in mathematics. Like, students are getting really, really good grades in high school, but because high school has massively lowered expectations, they have like weirdly idiosyncratic competencies. Like, some things they're good at, but some fairly basic things they're very bad at. So you know, I suspect that what is really needed is a, you know, whole-scale transformation of education as such. Unfortunately, you know, since the, I want to say, you know, late 70s, early 80s, we've been suffering under an education system that has basically justified itself on the idea that, oh, fuck. Okay, I do have to sleep. I'm sorry. Have a good stream. Oh, thank you for coming by, Spooky. Or Cheerio, I should say. Always glad to have you here, man. You have yourself a good rest, and I'll catch you again another day. So where was? So, like, the education system in the West, broadly speaking, since the late 70s, has operated on the principle that you go to university to get a degree that will get you a good job, right? And a good job in this case means a job that makes you lots of money so that you can have upward social mobility. And the problem is that this was originally envisioned as a way to make education more like a business. And it has resulted in exactly the problems that anything experiences when it is produced as a consumer good, right? So, oh fuck. No, I'm not gonna. Oh, I almost did that one blind. Okay. Now, I feel this one a little more poignantly because of the kinds of things that I study, but it means that any discipline that, doesn't have a very occupational focus is, relatively speaking, devalued by the university. So it is to the point that most people just consider it a commonsensical fact and, natural thing about the world that the point of university is to get, basically job training. And I find this kind of ironic because, like, it is a good example of an idea that was developed in a particular point of time and didn't necessarily exist before that, but which has been so comprehensively endorsed by, 40 years of governments that nowadays, if you haven't specifically looked into the history of universities, it might not occur to you that that isn't how it's been. For example, it used to be thought that the point of a university education was so that you could be a good citizen, right? Capable of understanding and interpreting the world around you and able to appreciate the complexities and intricacies of issues facing society. Hey, welcome in, Wayne. How you doing, man? We're just ranting about the education system while I frantically try to remember the timing to dodge waterfowl dance point blank, which I have completely forgotten in the last week. So, it's... I kind of suspect that these problems in the university system can't really be fixed without fundamentally changing what the point of an education is. And that's not something you can set with policy, right? That's a societal level transformation. That's a political change that needs to be driven with leadership and action. And I don't really foresee anybody trying to do that, at least in the near future. It's, oh god, something of a grim joke among my fellow grad students that, we're getting our master's degrees and our PhDs, but there won't be humanities departments in 10 years because no one gives a shit, right? And that might be the case. I don't think people will stop learning, and I don't think it will produce a situation where the kinds of knowledge that an education and literary study can produce. But, oh man, it's going to be an uphill battle, let me tell you that. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that, like, this is what I mean. Is I think they're not wrong about that, but I think that example also kind of proves my point, because what the idea about the point of a university education in that meme is that the point of going is to get a job. But, what if there are more points to going to university? What if getting a job should not, in fact, be the point of going to university? And if you change that, man, that would completely change every aspect of the education system. Want to be content creators and influencers. Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, I guess that's one vision of a socialist utopia. Everyone is an influencer. Oh boy. Oh shit. I was looking at chat while she was doing the start of the dance. I wish I could create those changes, but I do not want to work in politics or activism. I essentially do enough of that by living. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Wayne, is that The first step to comprehensively fixing a broken career-driven university system would probably be pulling it all down. And unfortunately for us, it's all getting pulled down, but not by friends and allies. Yeah, yes, exactly, Star, like where we used to go to school. They, they want to be, yeah, I mean, I don't know about all of them. I'm sure quite a lot of them do. Oh, fuck. Immediately fucking died. Also, welcome in, Lavender. I recall seeing a poll recently that the number one career choice that elementary school students in Japan list is VTuber, which is kind of shocking to me. But I think probably what the Gen Z, Gen Alpha crowd have realized is that they've perceived quite correctly that most university experience these days is not really about learning. It's about getting the certificate that you are capable of certain kinds of skilled labor. No, it's specifically VTuber. Yeah. Would you like to know something fun about universities in China in the 70s? There was a program there. I forget the exact name of it. It has a really fun name, but it produced something. Uh, Basically, for quite some time, the communist government was aware that if you have a system where you can't get into universities except with really, really high test scores, this basically produced a set of constraints that resulted in only, predominantly very, very wealthy children going to university, because these were the families that could afford tutors, they could afford all sorts of extra, resources and whatnot. So the way that they worked around this is that they made the entrance requirement to universities not be test scores, but having jobs in certain fields. So, like, you could get into university after you'd been a farmer for a certain number of years, after you'd been a baker for a certain number of years, etc. And this pretty dramatically changed the um, culture of university life there. And I will point out the current chairman of the party, Xi Jinping, himself came up through university because of this particular program. I wish I could remember the name of it right now. Now, I don't know if that is necessarily the the thing that I would recommend, but it's a good example of how you can actually produce pretty dramatic changes in the the function of a university education in society without having to, like, completely change what a university is. I love going to college and get an education, but it shouldn't be required for so many things, and getting a job shouldn't be the incentive. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Man, I am doing so shitty tonight against Malenia. I might have peaked on Wednesday last week when I could actually dodge waterfowl dance point blank like a third of the time. No, no peaking. Well, hopefully I haven't peaked. Oh. Speaking of VTubers, did you know that the Communist Party of Japan had an official VTuber? for, I think, the 2018 or 2019 election season. Oh, god damn it. They even do weather forecasts. Yeah. I mean, there's educational VTubers now. You know, there is indeed a Communist Party of Japan, and they had an official VTuber. I will say, I tried to look up, you know, any records of that VTuber, and from the sounds of things, the model was kind of shitty. But I thought that was a fascinating early adoption. I think that might be was that the first example of a political party having a VTuber? Fucking goddamn it. Like, I fully thought the Vatican was going to be turning their, like, their anime girl into a VTuber. That is where I thought that was going. In Singapore, okay. I will confess I don't really know about this, but I will take your word for it. Yeah, private schools aren't getting cheaper, yet they're the most sought after because private equals better education. Yeah, and I would like to know more about that, because I've definitely taught some private school students who were just as bad off as the public school students here. But I don't really know what is going on with that, in part just because private schools are not as big a thing in Canada as they are in, like, the States. So yeah, what would I do to, like, fundamentally change universities? Um, I have no idea. I mean, the thing is it's not going to matter because right now universities are being destroyed by conservative political forces and not, you know, forces a little more aligned to my sentiments. So the question is less, you know, what I would do to change universities and more how will we handle the changes that are being forced on them for the better? Or how will we make the best of the changes that are being forced on them? I think a lot of changing societal attitudes in education could start before college too. People love to learn, but the way schools teach often discourages them from it. Yes, that also. See, I don't know anything about the public versus private education in Asia. Um, yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of deaths. This is the hardest boss in the game. It's going to take me a long time, especially because I have seemingly lost a bit of my muscle memory from last week. Oh, God. I may have to do some off-screen practice to make this not quite so painful. Is it patience? I mean, the thing is, you know, to my mind, you have to show patience with things that are unpleasant. But I don't, you know, even when I'm getting killed a lot, I don't find this unfun. Like, it's not, I don't, I enjoy losing so long as I'm still getting something out of it, right? It's mostly basic necessities like books and maybe an air-conditioned classroom. The education is better because of the books, but the classroom situation rarely changes. So I don't even remember my time at private school. I did private for middle, public for high school, private for college. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lavender brings up a good point here, too, which for Canada, the physical conditions of the schools is often a matter of some concern also. But what I don't know is exact. Oh, shit. I would love to see what the interior of some of the really nice private schools around here looks like. There is a school that I know of, a high school, that was built. Well, let me reframe. That was completed sometime within the last 5 years. And any time that it gets to around 25 degrees Celsius or hotter, they have to close the school because the architects designed it entirely with like colossal plate glass walls, and there's no air conditioning or passive cooling in the school. And so when it's hot and when the sun is shining on this building for several hours a day, the interior temperatures can get into the mid 40s. And that's a brand new school. Yeah, like I honestly don't know, other than like the size of the classes, what exactly would be different about the experience of teaching for private school versus public school. Because I do not for a second believe that the parents of students who get sent to private school are less sort of entitled about what grades their students get. But, it's not like you have a huge amount of total flexibility because from what I know of, from talking to friends who teach at private schools, like there's still an incredible pressure to teach two tests, which is a problem in the public school system too, and depresses the range of curricular flexibility teachers can have. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, if the only difference between private and public schools is just the class sizes, the private schools would be destroying the public schools every time, too. Like, a friend of mine teaches math at a private school, right? And his class sizes are in the high 30s, which is considered really high here, and is approximately the same as a public school at a high school in our area. What I will say, though, um, is nice for the private school students is that they get new books in their English class, by which I mean just like new copies of books. In my area, one of the big changes that the government made, oh gosh, I want to say they started making this change about 10 years ago, and then it took them 2 or 3 years to actually put it into practice, but they removed the required books from the curriculum, which was intended to give teachers more flexibility in what they taught, and thus the students could be exposed to a wider range of texts. Uh, and the result was that most students kept reading the exact same books because what they didn't do was give the teachers any more money in the budget to buy new books. Oh, the stamina. Gotta back off here. Do the dance. Do the dance. You're at the health threshold. Do the goddamn dance. I do really enjoy showing people that learning can be fun. Maybe if PBS still exists by the time I graduate, I'll work for them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really have no idea what to suggest about the States. Like, that is such a huge fucking question mark in terms of changes to the educational system. And, you know, because Canada is a pathetic societal and economic parasite on the US, any changes that happen there will translate to changes up here one way or another. Because, of course, you know, our federal and provincial governments don't have the guts to really, you know, not let that happen. But I, yeah, it's, oh, hold on. I'm going to focus up a little bit here. Ooh. There we go. Okay. First phase 2, so we will watch the cinematic. I think the bigger problem is our culture here in the West plays a huge role in how people view education, at least. Yeah. Yes, I agree. But a cultural change, that's a hard one to drive. It's a hard one to drive. Oh yeah, he Harry. He Harry. Star, if you're there, we're about to see the goddess. Yeah, it's our new chat call out. Oh, are you GGing the boss, Star? What the fuck is this? Being betrayed in my own chat. It's like how people were fucking cheering for Godfrey for a couple streams there. No, don't worry, it's fine. If people want to cheer for the boss, I'm okay with that. Honestly, not even the most humiliating thing chat does to me on a regular basis. All right, so let's see if I can remember this. Nope, fucked up. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, it's because why am I crouching? I'm a dumbass. Oh, long message. I'm sorry. I'll look at that once I finish dying on this pull. Oh, shit. Forgot about that. That's embarrassing. Classroom size is the least of your concern when you have poor ventilation, blackouts, lack of school funds to give teachers their materials, ignoring that the schools itself lack the manpower and time to keep up school facilities. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the maintenance, just like having a school itself that functions on a physical basis is a requirement that I think is increasingly going to be a problem. Like, for example, um, schools out here don't always have great earthquake proofing. So if we ever got a big earthquake, um, you know, suddenly we won't have schools to teach in. Everyone's going to be in portables for their entire goddamn schooling, right? What's my opinion on homeschooling? Should be banned. No, this, especially in the States, you can see directly how homeschooling is a really powerful vector for um, creating massive cultural isolation. And yeah, I don't think it should exist. Every student should have to join the same school system. Now, granted, what I would like to see is different kinds of schools and different ways of organizing schooling that people could be involved in. fucking goddamn... Why have I was so good at doing this 5 days ago. So good at it. Completely lost my touch. I don't get it. One thing I did as a teacher for physics or math is I would give them stories about certain discoveries and that are related and show them how and why what they're learning is important. Then I would give them problems to solve that lead to such discoveries so that they can see the thought process and problem solving skills. Yeah. You know, I think what examples like that show is that students benefit from understanding like having a context for problems that brings them into it as a participant, and not, you know, just education as a series of abstract and isolated subjects. I would also say I think that there is a really profound problem with requiring students to specialize in their education way too young. Because it locks people out of exploring subjects that are outside of their path. But I take that more as a, that kind of thing as a direct function of viewing school as vocational training. So I suspect that problem will solve itself if and when we can ever see a world where education is valued for reasons other than its ability to get you a high-paying, socially mobile job. I mean, the other thing about that is simply that, it's withering on both ends, because the universities themselves are increasingly not able to provide people with the direct route into social mobility that, the narrative asserts. And also, just the jobs that you can get with a university education are increasingly not paying you all that well. Fuck. But they, as Lavender is alluding to here with like Vsauce and SciShow, there is an incredible appetite for learning out there. Like, look at how many, let's call them medium good video essayists are out there putting out, sort of okay educational videos about whatever range of topics you can envision. Like, people want to learn, and I think, God, the prevalence of video essays like that is that, that to me is as much evidence that people care about learning as evidence that they are not getting that instruction at school. Oh, fuck. How many times have I died here? I think there were 3 deaths that haven't been counted, so I think I'm gonna wang those right in there. Oops. And you know what? If I'm wrong, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a problem that people are expected to know what they want to do in the future at 15, 16 as they start getting ready for post-secondary, as people don't stop developing well into their 20s. It's a problem with our culture. You should have some idea by then. Life is pretty short. No, that's okay, Orphea. That's okay. Now, I don't think people need to have some idea. Like, I don't think it really matters whether you start your education at, or it shouldn't matter anyway, started at, exactly 18, or you wait until you're 22 or whatever. I mean, we could just, raise the minimum age to go to a university. But yeah, like the reason people experience this pressure to know what they want to do at 15 and then a sunk cost fallacy prevents them from really changing it is precisely because of this view that the only way to a good job is through university education, and the only point of an education is to get a job, right? Without both of those ideas, you wouldn't have people saying, "Oh, you need to know what you want to do by the time you're 16, or your life is over, or you're going to be behind forever, or whatnot." Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I am heartened that video essayists exist and that they're so popular because they tell me that people do still care. But I don't think it's good that people get, perhaps, I don't have numbers to put to this, but the idea that someone's sole exposure to like the finer points of analyzing literary texts might just be YouTube video essays, I don't think that's good. That strikes me as a problem. Furtive, how have we seen so much in what is frankly such a short time? I am so sorry. Could you tell me more? I don't know what you mean. No, I genuinely don't know. Like, okay, so for example, there's a fairly popular video essay with, I want to say, last I looked, I think it had over 3 million views, from a well-known video essayist who most people would recognize, about a concept called the death of the author that is has escaped academic containment to the point that I think a lot of people would be able to define what they think this concept means. And so I thought, okay, well, here's like a 20-minute video essay. Surely what this person will do is source this idea and like explain a bit about it. But not only did they give an incorrect definition for what this term means in their essay, they also didn't look at either of the two main texts that codify what this concept means. And, that's 3 million people who basically learned bullshit. I guess it's better than nothing, but it didn't really do what I would kind of want an education to do. Oh, lots of messages in chat, and I am behind. Let me take a moment to catch up here. Also, community college like mine, there's always at least one person who's technically still in high school. I'll be real, they tend to be kind of the worst. Oh, the person who's starting way too early. Yeah. Oh, here's another controversial furtive opinion here. I think there should be hard and inflexible minimum ages to attend university. I don't care if you're a prodigy. You don't get sent to university if you're 13. Sorry. Everyone's got to wait. Everyone's got to wait. Lavender says, I agree. Orphea Cross says, when I finished high school, I had to pick a course for senior high, and I chose STEM, not because not because I knew it's what I wanted, but because it's the only course I can finish and not hate. We need to confiscate the death of the author as a concept from the general public. Yeah. I mean that within one person's lifetime, we have gone through such a crumbling of the education system and structures. It's so bad, and it hasn't been happening for too long. Yeah, as a scientist, especially in physics, we get that too. Quantum woo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. The number of people who have, like, scanned the Wikipedia article for information about quantum physics and have used that to extrapolate all manner of bullshit from. Oh my god. I mean, I'm exposed to that. And I just did a biology degree. Okay. It's not, I'm not in the trenches on that one. Fuck. What am I doing? There's one other thing I wanted to respond. Oh yeah, what Star said. I mean, let me put it this way. I don't want to be like a crude. I don't want to do crude nostalgia about it. Like there have always been problems in the educational system, right? There have always been problems with equity. There have always been problems about the adequacy of the education to the society around it. You know, there have always been problems with, you know, how education shapes students and how it affects people. So, you know, I guess for me, I can only speak to the changes I've seen in my lifetime, and they're pretty grim. I mean, COVID exacerbated and accelerated a lot of issues in society. So I think it's easy to tie the narrative of, like, for example, the decay of English instruction to COVID for that reason. But it's also not a full picture. Like, anyway, I'm sure they had shitty classes in the 60s and 70s too. I don't think 13-year-olds should be allowed to go to university, not because of, you know, specializing too early, but because that person is going to be totally socially isolated there. Um, I knew a guy who he was actually a professor who I took a math class from, who had gone to university at age 11. And I remember him telling us on the last day of class um, in my first year at university, my first semester, that it was the biggest mistake of his life because like, he would go to class and no one would talk to him at any point because, you know, he was surrounded by like 18, 19, 20-year olds, and he's this like 11-year-old who um, is doing really well, and in most cases was like the best student, right? Because he was a legitimate genius prodigy. But it was in his words, it was an incredibly lonely experience, and it gave him incredibly severe depression because he couldn't, you know, he's emotionally immature compared to everyone around him. He was unable to have a normal childhood development because he was not around children. He was a child in an environment only of adults. So I can't remember what he said he wishes he had done instead. He had a very funny explanation of what he'd wished he'd been doing after he graduated high school at 11, but I can't fucking remember what it was. But I think his real explanation was, like, even if you're a prodigy, you shouldn't be allowed to move too far ahead of kids your own age. It was basically, like, have your success, but there's no need to rush, I think was the thrust of his example. I do recall him saying it probably would have been fine if he had gone at, like, 16, which I think is probably right. You're old enough at that point, you can kind of make friends and talk to people. But yeah, he brought that up in the context of telling us to, like, not spend our entire lives studying and to make time to do other stuff, because that's basically what he had to do, because he couldn't socialize or join clubs or go to events or anything. You know, he was basically like a total hermit from 11 to 16 or whenever he finished his undergrad. Yeah, I like studying too, but I've never, like, been in the position of studying but, you know, not being able to talk to people, like not having, you know, being like totally socially isolated because of being substantially younger than everyone else around me. I think the calculus is also a little different if the situation is that you can't, even if you wanted to, versus you don't want to. I like learning through problem solving, but I hate studying. Yeah. And I think for a lot of disciplines too, like the presentation of education is, you know, secondary to the kinds of things that allows you to solve, like the problems it allows you to address, the is a weakness of the education system too. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Nope, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh, I've missed so much of chat. I gotta scroll up a second here, sorry. Da 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 da. Oh my god. I've missed a whole conversation about death of the author here. Oh my god. Okay, why can't I just go to the message? The death of the author thing. Essentially, it's the idea that all art media gains new meaning depending on the audience interpretation instead of solely on the author's intention. That is definitely one part of it, right? So like so if you were going to teach students, like let's say you were going to prepare a 35-minute video essay on the concept of the death of the author, you would cite two specific papers. You would cite a paper by Roland Barthes, the literary theorist, on this concept. It might even be by that name. Shit. And you would cite a paper by Michel Foucault also on this. Both of these papers deal with what the rhetorical function of the author is in discussions of the meaning of works. Foucault is dealing with the difference in what an author does for how you understand a text for something like a book of poetry versus a book of natural history. And Barthes is talking about it in a somewhat more generalized sense. But it has more to do with, like, essentially the author as an abstract limiter of the potential of meaning, because any plausible meaning has to be submitted to, like, what is held plausible for that author to have intended. Yeah. Oh fuck. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, I almost did it too. So that's what I would do if I were going to write a video essay about the death of the author. And then we could talk about how, like, it's not like understanding how the author functions as a rhetorical governor on meaning doesn't mean that you can just sort of ignore everything about the author when you approach a text and try to understand it. In fact, like, quite the opposite. The lesson to be derived from both of those is that, in fact, understanding the author profoundly adds to your understanding of the text, because it is another part of the alchemy that creates meaning. However, I'm not a YouTube video essayist, so I didn't do that. I instead got mad on the internet and kept it to myself. Oh, fuck. Penguin, were you here for my question about the spiders? Penguin wings, what else? No, 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 no. You don't even know the question, Magus. I don't think you were here either. No, we're not. Oh, Magus, you know me too well. You know me too well. Okay. Yeah, you didn't want your dinner, your lunch spoiled by that question. Okay. So this is the question that I posed to chat earlier, and I think I only got Star's answer. So we'll see what everyone says, because they gave a pretty definitive answer. So imagine, if you will, a hypothetical world where instead of toilet paper, right, this world has no toilet paper. Instead, beside every toilet is a bucket filled with spiders. Now, in this obviously nightmare scenario, would you prefer that the spiders be warm or cold? Penguin says warm. So many people say warm. What the fuck is wrong with you all? Because warm would imply that they're alive to me. There we go. There's the timing. Don't care so long as the spider's actually clean. Yeah, well, in this hypothetical world where every home has the bucket full of spiders, I have to imagine that this works somehow. No, warm means I'll forget there's spiders. Oh yeah, I guess this world would have like specialized devices that warm up spiders. I mean, I would rather not have them escape if I'm trying to wipe my ass, right? Ask a follow-up. Of course you can ask a follow-up question, Penguin. I'm all about follow-up questions. Also, Wayne, I did see you say something about the concept, and it scrolled by too fast, but I will go back and look at it. Fuck. Yeah, it's not to limit your interpretation to only what the author initially intended, not to completely disregard it. You explained it really well, definitely better than I could. Yeah. Like, if you want to give a full account of the meaning of a text, you are actually severely injuring yourself if you decide that whatever the author says is outside the scope of it. It's just, even in cases when you have no idea what the author thinks or says, like in the case of, for example, anonymously written works, the idea of an author as having an intent that provides a border around the possibilities of meaning is something you have to litigate against in your method, right? Does Spider-Man exist in this hellscape, or is he just a toilet paper man? And if so, is the toilet paper he shoots juicy like Spider-Man webs? Yeah, what would Spider-Man be like in a world where spiders are toilet paper? Okay. That's, since we're about to have an ad break, yeah, let's consider Penguin's question, and we'll return to answering it after we come back from ads, okay? So I'm going to pop us over to the BRB screen. So I will see you folks in about 3 minutes. While I'm gone, get your food, get your water, take your medicine if you have medicine to take, or get up and stretch. I will contemplate Splooter Roll Man for 3 minutes. You should do the same. I will see you all very shortly. Bye-bye. Alrighty. Ad break is over. Welcome back, my darling little Draculas. Let's get back to some vital questions we've been dealing with here. Okay, I'm gonna have to get one of you to talk to me about Australian Spider-Man, because I feel like there's a reference here I am missing. But I hope my food gets stung. Oh, the bee tacos is a joke from Star's stream. I don't know if they're still here in chat, but that's where bee tacos comes from. So I guess my immediate thought on the answer to Penguin's question here, who here has played Conker's Bad Fur Day? Or has watched a Let's Play of Conker's Bad Fur Day? Oh shit. Ooh. You have... Oh, I thought you for sure would have Penguin. Okay. There we go. Getting the hang of this again. Oh, shit. Rio's Law in effect there. Should not ever, ever compliment myself. Well, welcome in, Axe. Hey, Axe, I've got a question for you. Do you have 30 seconds before you have to go? It's a very important, vital question. I need your feedback on it. I was on audio only. Oh. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get a bucket of spiders emote one day, aren't I? No, honestly, Axe, this is maybe one you want to lurk. I don't know if you want to get the question I'm gonna ask you. Probably wise to be gone. That's a good question, Penguin. I had kind of envisioned the former, but I could see the latter. Like, presumably, if these spiders are enough, then, you know, maybe there are specialized spiders for this purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Like the fish that like chew the dead skin off your feet. I know someone had suggested that they were that you would not use the spiders, you just have bidets. And the only thing I can say to that is, isn't a bidet just what an Australian says to someone who they don't like when they see them? Wow, Wayne, you got auto modded for that? That's awful. I can't believe that you got auto modded out of that. Wow. All right, all right. Just like the least cursed thing you've said, but now I get the ineffably joyous message that Furtive Furrow added permitted term butthole. Oh, god damn it. Orphea Cross, your friend Penguin Home has used 1,000 channel points to punish you. You must now give a compliment to someone in chat. Oh. Okay. Well, I will allow it now, Wayne. I will allow it now. Did what again? Forgot how to spell anus for a moment. Hmm. Oh, it's just one US, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Wayne. I can't fix that automod for you right now. I will soon, though. Okay, I gotta play a little more passively now. Oh, you've found the secret, Wayne. It seems to be repetition is the way to get automod on your butt. Speed running automod. I don't know if... Can you get automatically banned just from automod? I guess maybe some stuff. Do the fucking dance. Did I knock her out of it with a bleed proc? Is that what's happening here? Goodness gracious. Come on. See, this is the shit that I hate about this fight. It's waiting for the fucking dance. I can't commit to anything. Okay. There we go. Shit. Wayne, were you here for discussion of vulture bees? I think that might be... It might have been a day you were here, but after you left. Okay, I've got to un-automod 3 things you've said. Good lord. Furtive Furrow added permitted term, all caps, cock, dick, ball. Furtive Furrow added permitted term, anus, 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 anus. Okay, there we go. It's Magus's time. I'm going to read Orphea's compliment out here. Magus, I appreciate that we can talk about local stuff without it being creepy and whatnot, and I think you're smart because I do not understand anything you say about science. Yeah, and the meat honey. And then a random batch of characters from Wayne. Am I to understand, then, that you weren't here for the vulture bees? I mean, if anyone knows of them, Wayne, I would expect it would be you by this point. Ah, fuck. Whoop. Shit, I keep rushing that, and then I miss the goddamn riposte. Okay, okay. Yeah, there we go. Knew that was coming. Shit. Also, Wayne, thank you so much for introducing me to the concept of roach milk. And I must tell you, I've made absolutely surgical use of that in the few weeks since you brought that to my attention. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So many people have learned about roach milk because of me, because of you. Fuck. Why? Why? Anyway, I should say, Wayne, I can't recall if you were here for the start of the discussion about Death of the Author, but I brought that up as an example of what I took to be a very popular but very badly done video essay, and thus it demonstrated to me both that people want to learn about stuff, but video essays aren't a good replacement for them right now. I've got to head out and get ready for work. Someone take over the death counter so I can yap. Also, you know, thank you for your service tonight, Orphea. That is incredible. Also, let's put some gold leaves in the chat for Orphea and also for Star Miria, who I forgot to shout out at the end of stream last week, who also did that. Golden leaves in the chat for absolute troopers. Here we go. Oh, fuck. Silly willies are just dangy wit woo frowns. Wit are just silly willies are just dangy whittle friends. How the fuck are you meant to pronounce that, Penguin? Whitwell? Ooh woo. Ooh woo. I did offer to record an uwu copy pasta for a friend of mine who like authentically has like a sound redeem that's her reading an uwu copy pasta. But it would just be me reading it in my normal voice. But like there'd be a 5% chance that if someone claimed that redeem, they'd get my voice instead of hers. I'm still down. Oh, fucking goddamn it. Medium distance dance, no! Whoach milk. Whoach milk in my sippy cup. Oh, sippy cup full of roach milk. There's a fucking Snowpiercer ass future right there. I don't know, man. Snowpiercer was maybe too optimistic, because I think we're going to skip the bit where they develop roach milk and we'll just go straight to the bit from the jungle where you buy what you think is the best milk, but it's actually milk that's been adulterated with white paint. Internet died as soon as I typed Michael Jackson. Oh no. Well, one ghost is real anyway. Oh, why the fuck did I do that? I could drink a glass of cold roach milk right now. Welcome in, Rio. Quite a few instances of Rio's law being demonstrated tonight, let me tell you. Hee hee. Incredible. Incredible. Honestly, Michael Jackson is the one ghost I could see still existing. The problem is he would probably haunt exclusively his doctor, and I don't know, what's up with his doctor lately? He's got to be in jail right now, right? There we go. Boo walking? Oh, fuck. Ooh, fresh squeezed roach milk. Just grabbing a handful of roaches out of the bucket in the fridge and just putting them in the juicer. Oh, delicious, delicious roach milk. Don't know how to reply to a specific on the phone. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Oh, who said they were leaving? Oh, no. Oh, no, that was Orphea from a while ago. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, I'm in the club squeezing my roach. And by my roach, I mean... I don't know what I mean. Not that. Hogs are rolling. By roach, I mean cocktick. Oh, you got auto-modded for it. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Because it has developed Wayne paranoia. I'm sorry. You have specifically aggrieved it somehow. Okay, hold on. I've got another one. I'm in the club squeezing my roach, and by my roach I mean my noose. My anise. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll figure it out eventually. Don't squeeze your anise in the club. Okay, I'm gonna let you in. Not well timed, Doc. Well timed. I um have been looking at my collection of spices in the cupboard that I don't use because I can't taste any of them anymore. And I do have some star anise in there. And the only thing I know about star anise now, because I've completely forgotten what it smells like or what it tastes like, is that apparently it smells like licorice. Is that true? Fucking god damn it. Is that true, chat? Does the anise smell like licorice? At any rate, though, I think it would probably be fine to squeeze anise in the club. Like your own, right? Don't go grabbing anyone else's anise that they brought into the club, even if it's like out there and available. But, you know, squeezing your own's surely got to be fine. That's not going to hurt anybody. Ah, knocked you out of that grab. I don't want to do this fight up there. Ah, fucker. Oh, wait. Did I remember to un-auto-mod you earlier, Wayne? Yeah, I think I fixed. I'm kind of worried that if I don't, you'll gradually accumulate infractions until automod actually bans you. She milk on my roach till I'm over 3 times the amount of calories as cow's milk. So my recollection is that it's also solid. Like it comes out in a crystalline form, which would lead me to believe it's going to be like a powder, right? So, oh man, I'm distracted by roach milk. So you're going to actually have to add moisture to it to make it into milk in the conventional sense. Oh man, you know what that means though? Oh, Penguin, you could put roach milk in the god milk. Roach. What do we name? Coach is what we name the roach. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, welcome back, Penguin. Shit. It's primarily in crystal form. Yeah, that's how it is in its most nutritious form. Bust a move or bust a roach. You ordered pizza. Well, hey, you know what? You might get a roach with it, so I feel like it's on... You've cohered a suggestion out of chat's chaos. Oh, what is this clip? Okay, I'll watch this clip after I die next. I often wonder how my streams would be different if I hadn't decided to start streaming with a situation where I tend to like repetitively do the same task for literally hours at a time. I feel like that has contributed to a certain amount of derangement on my part. Clown. Okay. What is clown flavor to you? And don't say it tastes funny, okay? You're gonna be better than that. Was that the answer you were baiting, Penguin? Sad. Sad. Well. I don't know, I feel like at this point roach milk is kind of like a nutritious dust. It's like nutritious yeast, except from roaches instead of fungus. I guess they actually call it nutritional yeast and not nutritious yeast. Ooh. Wayne, I can't remember. I know I asked you this pointedly, like, it feels like 1,000 years ago. My brain has been fucked up by the roach milk again. But were you here for the vulture bees conversation? And thus were you here for the meat honey? Oh, you know what I just realized? No one took over for Orphea about the death counter, and I don't know how many deaths have occurred since she left. Oh shit. All right, well, I guess I'll start counting now, and I'll have to fucking redo it over, at some point. Review the VOD. No, it's okay. Look, guys, don't worry. The thing about the death counter is I know that it's annoying to do. I wish I had the technical know-how to make it automatic. I'm sure there must be a way with mods, but I don't know how, and I didn't want to hold off on the fight until I figured it out. So I went with a solution that sucks, but it gets the job done. Ooh. Miracle dodge on that one. Totally by accident. Oh, fuck. Bad call on my part. There we go. You were there. Get out of the roach sauce. And by the sauce, I mean roach milk and meat honey. Penis has a special place in the cockles of your heart. If there is a penis in your heart, you have more than one problem, I think. This is just my going theory. Like, there's not... Oh, hey, welcome in, Misty. Thank you for the bits. Hit and run going to... I'm sorry, Misty, I didn't get a lurk command set up, and I'm also sorry you've joined us for truly one of the most cursed conversations we've had here in quite some time. But thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. You have yourself a good evening, and please, for the love of God, don't look back at what we've been talking about. Okay, but what would the painting taste like, though? Like, what do you envision it would look like if you, or it would taste like if you cut off a piece of my painting and ate it? The last thing I want to do is look too closely at you, chatters. Wow. Hear that? Hear that, chat? You're all roaches. Oh, fuck. I'm thinking of the one that's in a cage. Can anyone tell what? Huh? What is... Oh, have I missed a crucial chat reference here? Oh, right. We're talking about CBT. Gotcha. Gotcha. Look, look, look. I don't think... There's no honor here, people. There's no honor to be found in this place. Thanks for coming by, Misty. They hate to see me scattering into various crevices when they turn on the lights in the kit. You know what? You know... Oh, god damn it. I have been... For weeks, I have been trying to figure out what the name of chat should be. I remember we talked about it a bunch on stream a while ago, and we didn't really come to a good answer. I think the best suggestion I got was caretakers, because it was a pun on people who take care of, like, museums, but also people who take care of old people like me, resident old man. But maybe chat should just be roaches. Because the other Like, the one that I had that I thought of was, like, hoggers, but I think roaches might be better. Oh, shit. No, like, I am curious about milk from different creatures. Today is the 5th? Today's the 5th. Also, sorry, I know someone tagged me in a message earlier, and it scrolled by too fast, and I missed it, so I will look at that once I die. I'm sorry, whoever that was. I will scroll back up and find it. Shit. Alright. What was that? What was that message? Oh, it was from Magus. What stream software do you use? I use OBS. I have to become the most pregnant roach in Twitch chat. Good luck, Wayne. It's an unusual goal, but I support it. Then I'll flick your droplings, leave my meat honey. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So things are going well in chat, I can see. What do you mean flick droplings? Like, are you going to be conducting violence against baby roaches? I don't understand, Lavender. Explain yourself. Paint thinners. Well, there's supposed to, one of these days I'm going to figure out a paint thinner redeem. Roach father is judging. Oh, fuck. I've got a nut. Aw. Can't have anything nice without you assholes turning it around on me. Roach father. That feels like a nickname Nurgle would have in a 40k novel. Give me the fucking dance. Shit. Flick it away with a flick of my wrist. Okay, so you're just going to be hanging out behind Wayne, flicking away every single baby that crawls out, every single live roach nymph. Roach father sounds like a fear and hunger. Yeah, it does. Or like, I don't know, I could see that being like the title of a character in Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, isn't Worm Father like a boss in Elder Scrolls Online? We're not far off here, I think. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, the roaches really are everywhere here. Oh shit, that was a bad call on my part. I do like the idea of calling you all roaches, because you know it gives the impression of like a forgotten, decaying art gallery, and I'm like the last painting left, and the only people who come see the painting are the roaches or whatnot. Roaches make sense because y'all seem to be smoking shit. Doc, which of us is entirely responsible for mpreg being the common theme of most emotes in the Discord? I'm being sold for pennies, but you get a whole bunch of pregnant roaches on the side. Oh yeah, I guess like if you're like buying roaches to make your homemade roach milk, is it better or worse than, or is it like better or worse to get pregnant roaches? I feel like, I guess they kind of have to be if you're going to get milk out of them. The doctor is being good because Misty is lurking. There is no good in here, I'm afraid. We're all slimy little slugs, I'm afraid. Oh, fucking hell. Well, okay. I'm going to have to defer to Wayne's greater expertise here. Is that the roaches that make roach milk give birth to live young, but the young are actually consuming the roach milk in utero, right? Or in vivo, I guess, in this case. You get to make a roach sona? Yeah. 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 I'm increasingly liking roaches for the chat name. I don't know if I'm 100% satisfied with it, but I like where it's going. Spiders are another good one. I'll be my silly little spiders instead of my rancid little roaches. Oh, I see another message that I missed from Wayne. Sorry, I will scroll up. Oh man. Oh fuck. Also, fun fact, in Avatar The Last Airbender, there actually are creatures that are half vulture, half wasp. It's not the same, but it could also imply meat honey exists in that universe. I do like that. Did you not have none of you noticed I've been trying to come up with new alphabetically organized alliterative greetings for chat? Adventurous little aardvarks, for example. Rancid little roaches. I was thinking I'd be recording them so I don't repeat myself, but I guess I'll just have to try to be inventive as we go. A long time ago, I was trying to, like, come up with, oh my god, my brain is putting between trying to keep up with chat and trying to perfectly dodge the hardest boss in this game at the same time. Where's I going with this? A couple years ago, I was writing up a custom setting for an RPG because I was getting annoyed with both Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder's default cosmologies. And I wanted to write one that was more dialectical. Sorry, Wayne. Got your cancer pizza? How are the roaches on it? Shit. Oh, why did I do a jumping attack there? That was pointless. And I spent a lot of time trying to think of, like, okay, I have this demon who I want to be made of various little vermin, and the best I could come up with was either like flies with the heads of rats, or giant like cockroaches with the heads of slugs. Fuck. But I will... One of these days, maybe I'll finish it when I have such a thing as free time and mental capacity. All roaches are born and all roaches are triplets, aren't they? That's science. That is Twitch science right there. Verified information, all roaches are triplets. Oh, not the pissening again. I don't want this to be golden hour while Misty is lurking in my chat. I don't remember. I'm just trying to say what I remember. And, you know, titles, fuck that shit. Bizarre, incorrect facts about roaches, I can come up with that all day. For example, did you know that roaches smell like cinnamon? There's a roach fact for you. Here's a fun fact. Did you know roaches are the only known insect that can navigate a map if you draw it on the ground? Well, famously, Penguin, I don't know what anise smells like anymore. Also, roach milk update. The nymphs do only eat it in the womb, but also they hatch from eggs inside the womb before they are given birth. So it's kind of like a bug marsupial type deal in a way. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, Wayne. The roach milk. Is all of the roach milk then provisioned in the ovum, or is it secreted in the womb and thus available after the roach nymphs hatch? I'm not eating anymore, thanks, guys. Sorry, Magus. The roach milk is like one of our best recurring chat themes. The bucket of spiders, I feel, is gonna come back. I haven't even got to the other stuff I'd planned to talk about tonight. Fucking Orphea asked me about teaching English, and I got onto that for like an hour and 45 minutes, and we exited out of English directly into roach milk. There we are. Okay. So they only eat it after hatching, but before being birthed. Okay, so there's no external secretion of roach milk. Oh man, that could be a real problem for commercial roach milk production, I think. Yeah, just the one. Oh, we're gonna get to phase 2 here soon. Maybe. Maybe. Oh. Nope. Fuck. Shit. It's a powder, so I've got to... Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know what color roach milk powder would be. No, I'm not going to... of all of the idiotic business ventures I have envisioned for myself, roach milk is, although a very fun one, among the least plausible. Back before I went back to school and got my MA, I did briefly envision starting a combination bookstore and gym that I was going to call Pump Fiction. I entertained this idea seriously for approximately 2 weeks and then realized I would hate running a business, so I'm not going to do that. Also, question for chat, okay? Possibly in 2 weeks, I'm going to have to experiment with different stream times. Even though I've changed the days, I've been pretty consistent about starting at 7 p.m. Pacific. But for the summer, it might be, oh shit, advantageous for me to stream earlier in the day. So if I streamed on the same days, but 12 hours earlier, put 1 in the chat if that would make it harder for you to come to stream, or 2 in the chat if that would make it easier for you to come to stream. It's nearly impossible to extract without killing them. Individuals only produce a tiny amount because they're tiny little bugs. It only comes from one kind of roach. Yeah, it's a science fiction fantasy at this point. Wayne is the chat's unpaid intern. I think arguably the unpaid interns are a series of people who handle the "you died" counter. There we go. It's taken me all stream, but I'm finally getting back into the muscle memory of dodging waterfowl dance. Oh, shit. Sorry, I missed the question. Okay. If my streams were on the same day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday... Actually, you know what? Why don't I just type it in chat? Why don't I just type it in chat? Make it easier. For you to attend stream. That make it harder. There we go. And the perfect age and personality to be an intern. 21, hopelessly dweeby. College educated. Yeah. It's a good age to be massively exploited for the promise of potential professional development. Oh, shit. Say one doesn't change much. Couple of ones. Magus, I'm gonna guess that's 2. Penguin, yeah, it would put our stream times into having a fair amount of overlap. 2, probably. Okay. 1, I'm fighting my eyelids to... Oh, shot. You don't have to... If you're sleepy, man, you don't have to stay up on my account. I do, but I don't know how. I've never tried one. And I would rather not learn how to do that on stream. Fine, I'm going to bed. Yes. I order you to go to bed if you're forcing yourself to stay awake, just to listen to the extremely cursed shit we've been saying. Good night, Shot. Hope you have a good good sleep. Oh, I forgot to ask Shot, did you get the cerebral boar on Friday? I'm sorry I could not come by stream that day. Oh, fucking goddamn it. I was actually doing okay in the first third of stream of not running face first into that attack. But the roach milk has set me back. I had to skip Friday night. Okay, so this week, hopefully. All right. All right. Night Shot. Night Shot. I actually have a friend who works at their school's reptile lab, which includes roaches. Even though they're not reptiles, so I'll have to ask them more roach facts. Ooh. Favorite activity, skittering around eating garbage. It's not a bad way to spend an evening. I mean, there's definitely worse things you could be doing. Like, fucking fighting Malenia at rune level 1. Infinitely less productive than eating garbage off the floor. Allegedly, this entertains some people. I have no fucking clue how. One of my favorite things about a former place of work, when I was an undergrad, I had the opportunity to work at an insect collection, and they had quite a, unusually for where we were based, quite a robust collection of tropical cockroaches. And some of the, like, cave dwelling giant cockroaches are absolutely beautiful. And I love how delightfully flat they are. Every animal has a shape that makes it adorable. Like birds are best when they're round, but cockroaches are great when they're flat. It doesn't matter how big it is. If it's flat, I love it. No, I think penguins. I think a good round penguin is a good penguin. Let me reframe that. That was a tautology. I think a round penguin is a good penguin. Well, I think a cylindrical hand is a good hand. Also, what have what kind of life is it to not have an ideal shape, man? Figure that shit out. Go apologize to Plato. Get yourself an ideal form. Oh, fuck. Oh yeah, cave bugs are excellent. Except for cave centipedes, because for whatever reason, I have not managed to desensitize myself to centipedes. Those are the one creepy crawly that still gives me the creepy crawly sensation. Spiders, cool with. Wasps, fucking love them. Roaches, can hang. Centipedes, though, centipedes twig something in me, and I don't know what it is. Fuck. Well, Lavender, that depends on whether we're talking about the very specific definition of, like, a bug as belonging to the order Hemiptera, or are we talking bug in its commonplace definition, which refers generally to any sort of small arthropod? What the hell is that, Doc? Shit. Oh, whoa. I actually managed to dodge that. I'm gonna call that an accident of geometry, and a happy one, and not try to replicate it. You didn't eat Play-Doh? Well, I'm sure Aristotle appreciates you for that. Aw, god damn it. I don't... Can someone... Okay. Can someone describe to me the smell of Play-Doh? Because I have heard this. I can't... I wasn't a Play-Doh kid. Like, I'm sure we had Play-Doh, but it just didn't interest me. So what does Play-Doh smell like? You got to keep in mind, chat, I'm sure most of you have been here for this, but courtesy of long COVID, I don't have a sense of taste or smell anymore. So sometimes I just have to ask, because it's been, at this point, 18 months since I had smells, and I'm forgetting what a lot of them are like. I wrote a paper on Descartes once and I thought it was a work of art. I found it a year ago and it's the biggest piece of shit I've ever read. Such is life, you know. The thing is, you recognize that you rose to the challenge that you were confronted with in the moment, and you remember successfully meeting that challenge. So I hope you can continue to take pride in it, even though it no longer feels like it satisfies what you need intellectually. Yeah, yeah, we've pissed off Wayne, I'm afraid. Play-Doh smells like earthy crayons, but what do crayons smell like? I guess this is kind of like trying to describe colors to someone who can't see. I just don't... No. The metaphors are never going to work because I don't have the pool of reference. It's earthy. Okay. Shit. If you had to... If I find the paper, I'll send it to you. Okay. Sure. Look, I'm sure my papers from that time also would not be suggestive of someone who has an education. I mean, arguably, my streams are just 3 hours of me suggesting I don't have an education. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you got okay zoned, Magus. I'm sorry. You know, I guess if you have to explain what smells are like to someone who can't smell, the God damn it. The thing to do is to, like, I don't know, use figurative language. Like, the earthy makes sense to me. I can kind of contextualize that. It's the crayon bit, the more literal thing, that doesn't. So, you know, paint me your best word picture. Unfortunately, it seems like chat is kind of divided on whether morning streams would be better or worse. So I'll just have to keep that in mind for the future. And by keep that in mind, I mean, I didn't get a really definitive answer either way, so I'll just keep speculating. Fuck. Shit. Shit. Do you know what clay smells like? No. Sorry. I do actually have some smells that come through. It's just pretty much... Like, I can kind of smell acrid things. Like, I can smell vinegar. I can smell some citrus. Like, I can usually smell a really powerful orange scent. But I also just, like, random things smell like burnt plastic to me. Whoop. I'm 35. You tell me, man. Oh. Only a little. Only a little. How actually dare you, Penguin? How actually dare you? Fucking young people. Roach Senpai. Notice me, Roach Senpai? Oh, it's like Hatoful Boyfriend, but with cockroaches instead. Oh, why? Oh, what the fuck is going on? You might be, Wayne. You might be. Hmm. I feel like that's the title of a hentai, Penguin. Give me your milk, Dust Roach Senpai. Okay, so if that was the title of a yaoi, Chat, would you think that there's NTR in that yaoi? I did a bit of Googling, and apparently the official smell of Play-Doh, as told by Hasbro, is sweet, slightly musky, close to vanilla, notes of cherry, natural odor of salty bread dough. Interesting. Okay. Sweet. It smells sweet. Oh, fuck. 21. Meanwhile, everyone here is in their late 20s to 30s. Lavender, do you think I don't know what hentai is? Why do you think I would be okay talking about roach milk, but would never bring up hentai? Oh, oh. You've been released from your torment, Wayne. Someone else has taken over your misery. I accidentally spilled milk on my roommate's pet roach, and now she's a busty cockroach girl who calls me Oni-chan whenever I open the fridge. Is a good hentai manga name. Absolutely not, Doc. Absolutely not. I have no problem with furries. I cast them no ill will, but I am not a furry. Please, I don't have the money to be a furry. Are you kidding? Oh, fuck. I'm just used to being the youngest person in a lot of these chats. If I read it, then oh no. Yeah, I should just get chat one day to submit to me. Oh, you know what? That would actually be a kind of fun game to play. Is I get chat to submit a bunch of real but bizarre actual hentai titles and then submit a bunch of fake ones and see if I can guess which ones are real and which ones are fake. Shit. Welcome to Roach Town, where ages don't matter and we all reproduce for powdered milk. Oh man, that's a sad state for the economy to get into. We don't need to go down to that level of bartering, I think. At least I hope not, anyway. Oh shit, whoops. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if it reproducing for powdered milk is hard enough when you're only feeding for one. You know, if you gotta get powdered milk for your spouse, that's a lot of work. Oh shit. Okay, folks, we got an ad break coming up here momentarily, so I'm gonna pop us over to the BRB screen. And then we will go for a short 3-minute break. You may use that time to get yourself some food, some water, take your medicine, get a stretch like I am, or just spend 3 minutes contemplating roach milk. I will see you all very soon. Okay, well, welcome in, Shadow. I'm sorry, we'll be back soon, I promise. See you soon. Alright folks, looks like the ads are back. My ecstatic little egrets. Let's return to the game. As to your question, Penguin, no, before I put slippers on, I always make sure I'm wearing a condom. Wayne says, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and people go around with their dogs out, even though it's almost always cold and rainy here. I don't really have slippers. I have, but like, I think of a slipper as something that is warm. So like it'd be like lined with some sort of fabric or something, or insulation. What I have instead are house sandals, which are these just sort of very soft, comfy ones that I wear inside and never take outside. Oh shit. And those I routinely wear without socks. Shit, especially in the summer. I only wear socks if it feels cold, otherwise my grippers are always out on display. Yeah, I don't... So, for most of my life, I would avoid wearing socks whenever I could, because I had incredibly hairy feet, like fucking hobbit tier feet. And socks just caused me constant itching on the top of my feet. But then in my mid-20s, for some reason, all of the hair on my feet fell off, so now I don't have to worry about that. To me, a slipper is what you wear with PJs or just around the house. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I own a pair of slippers, but I don't think it's actually ever been cold enough for me to wear them. As opposed to the house sandals. I think I got them as a Christmas gift one year. They're tucked up somewhere in my closet. Honestly, all of the hair falling off my feet was a huge increase to my quality of life, because I prefer weather that's really cold and kind of rainy. So I no longer had to compromise with my feet on that. I should say, I know I said no reason. There was a reason, it's just kind of a silly one. I was in a job where I had to wear really tight fitting work boots for like 8 to 12 hours a day. And so it actually caused all of the hair on my feet up to where the top of the boots were to fall off. And it has only in the last like year or so started to come back a little bit. And, you know, to be honest, I'm not excited about it. Because I don't want to get back into the years of sock discomfort. Aw, oh, come on. Really got fucking juked with that. Good gravy. Wait, hold on. So with that foot bald, you should get signed to the NFL? What do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not a sports boy. Oh, hey, Streaming Shadow, I've got a question for you. No, I'm not going to torture you with that question, don't worry. Oh, shit. We'll save that for another day. No. No, we're actually going to end stream here soon, because it completely didn't occur to me that we just had our third break, which should signal the end of stream. Don't worry, there'll be other chances to return to the spider bucket. But you know, on that, the foot. Oh, Nyx is here too. Well, maybe I should ask the spider question then. Okay, we got a bunch of new people here. Or at least people who weren't here for it. No. No, I'm not going to do it because I genuinely am going to end stream here probably after this poll. Oh, shit. Okay, well, that's as good a time as any. I personally have to be wearing socks all the time because my autism makes me hate touching stuff with my bare feet. Only time I don't is if I'm bathing, swimming, or at the beach, aka wet activities. Yeah, socks are definitely a dry activities item. I don't blame you there. I guess, you know, we have opposed experiences of foot sensations, Wayne. But isn't that the spice of life? Okay, let's get to looking at who we can raid out to here. No, John Twitch does not hate erections. Or singular, John Twitch does not hate erection. Alrighty, let's see who we've got. I wanna... How about... Oh, it did auto-mod that. Okay. John Twitch is okay with erection, but not climax. Alright. Who have we got? Oh, Raina's on, and I haven't raided her in a very long time. Let's see. Yeah, why don't we just go raid Raina? Yeah, that seems good. Alright, folks, thank you for coming by tonight and sitting with me through these extraordinarily cursed subject matter discussions. We'll return to all of them, believe me. We have so much more to say about spider buckets and roach milk and the state of education in the humanities in the West. Those were our major subjects tonight, as far as I can tell, and also feet. Let's take up the wisdom of Penguin. Make sure you're wearing a condom at all times you have slippers on. And we will go raid Raina here in just a second. If only I can remember how to spell her fucking username. There we go. Alright, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. I will be back on Wednesday for more of the same excellent gameplay. Holy shit, 11 people? We had a big crowd tonight. I didn't even realize. Alright, everyone. Have yourselves a very good evening, and I will catch you another day. Bye-bye.